We can't pretend that celebrities changing their looks is something shocking to us anymore. It happens all the time. Whether it's plastic surgery, a totally new style, weight gain or loss, celebrities are always changing up their looks and we are the first to know about it. Today on Beyond the Screen, we are checking out 10 celebrities who drastically changed their looks. I'm your host for this one, I'm Joss Bedard. Make sure you guys stick around to the end if you want to catch the comment features. You can also come say hi on social media, our links are down below. And to see more of what we do, click the playlist right up here. But for now, let's get to this part 10 list. In our number 10 spot is Lil' Kim. In 2016, she posted a photo of her new look on Instagram and people were shocked at how drastic the change in her appearance was, especially when comparing it to her early days. She's almost unrecognizable with her dramatically different hair, different skin tone, and totally different face shape. Fans started tweeting that they thought she was perfect the way she was before and that they feel like they don't even know her now. A board-certified plastic surgeon, Dr. Jennifer Levine, weighed in on the difference and said, "It's clear that there has been some skin bleaching." Kim also would have had to have surgery to remove the fat, skin, and tissue to create her new eye shape. But despite the critiques and comments, Kim said she is unbothered and that she loves the way she looks now. This was all 4 years ago though. She's actually now rocking black hair and has a darker skin tone again, but still looks wildly different than the beginning of her career. Next up at number 9 is Jonah Hill. The actor did one of the most honest interviews of his career back in 2018 when he went on The Ellen Show and talked about his weight loss. Fans were shocked to see him 40 pounds lighter, giving him a completely different look. He opened up about wanting to change his body, saying that because he grew up in the spotlight, he was always criticized for his body and people told him that he was fat and unattractive. A lot of his movie roles that he took on were the fat and unattractive friend. That was like always his humor and go-to character if you think back on his movies. Like, just is what it is. He spoke to Ellen and said, "I spent most of my young adult life listening to people say I was fat, gross, unattractive. I've started to understand how much that hurt and got into my head." He explained that his weight loss didn't come from some magic pill, but that his diet was the problem. He went to see a nutritionist and worked on changing his bad habits. He also began a consistent exercise routine, which he said he had to work up to slowly, day by day. His overall look has changed, which also means that the roles he plays has changed, which is ultimately what he wanted for his career. Sliding into the number 8 spot is Miley Cyrus. Her look is constantly changing and she has had some of the most dramatic changes simply because people still look at her as Disney's Hannah Montana. For years, people saw her with long brown hair as Miley and then a long blonde wig as Hannah Montana. So even when she cut her hair shorter as a brunette, people saw it as like this huge change. But what shocked people the most was when she started covering herself in tattoos and she chopped all her hair off into a pixie cut. I've actually never seen a haircut go viral the way that that haircut did. The pictures of her haircut were all over the internet and it was all anyone could talk about. People were freaking out. I was one of them. But with that haircut also came a drastic change in character and behavior from the outside looking in anyways. It seemed like it was her way of breaking free from that Disney persona once and for all and she could finally just do whatever she wanted and look how she wanted to. Since then, she's changed up her look a few different times. Last year, she grew out her blonde hair and had a whole country vibe going, and now she chopped her hair into a mullet and gave herself bangs. So she's always changing her look. In spot number 7 is Farrah Abraham. The Teen Mom star is by far the most honest celebrity when it comes to her plastic surgery journey. A little too honest sometimes, as she has faced tons of criticism for getting bum injections with her daughter in the room and live streaming it for her followers. True story, I caught one of them one time and her daughter is like 8. Over the years, she has completely changed her look, getting a large amount of plastic surgery done to change the shape of her body and also her face. Fans who started following her at the beginning of Teen Mom would hardly recognize her today. She openly talks about the work she's had done, like enlarging her breasts, enlarging her butt, getting her lips done, and getting other work done on her face. She's not ashamed of these drastic changes she has made, and despite people saying that she's leading a bad example for her daughter, daughter, she's not fazed by these comments. She continues to change her look and her overall behavior. What shocked fans the most was when she started doing work in the porn industry, filming videos, and creating her own line of sex toys. Moving on to spot number 6 is Heidi Montag. You may have thought that Farrah had more plastic surgery done than anyone else on our list, but that is where Heidi comes in. The Hill star made news for undergoing one of the most invasive plastic surgery experiences anyone has ever seen. She underwent 10 surgeries in one day, which is often unheard of and oftentimes not recommended. I don't know why these doctors let this happen. Shame on them. Her surgeries were not some small cosmetic surgeries either. They were very big surgeries that actually left her unresponsive on the table at one point, where the doctors did not think she was going to make it. Her long list of surgeries include a brow lift, Botox in her face, a nose job, a chin reduction, fat injections in the cheeks, ears pinned back, nasolabial folds, lip, neck, waist, hip, and thigh liposuction, breast implants to a size F, a butt augmentation, and her back curved. Heidi said at the time she actually wanted to look like Barbie and wanted a size H for her breasts, but that they would not fit. Since the surgery, she has spoken up about it and said she regrets it more than anything and wants to encourage people to think twice before getting any kind of work done. She said she felt the pressure of Hollywood at the time and that she wishes she could go back in time and take it all back. We've made it halfway through. At number 5 is Macaulay Culkin. He was once the most famous child star in Hollywood after taking on the iconic role as Kevin in the Home Alone movies. People were probably convinced at the time that he was going to continue to be one of the biggest actors of all time. But then he fell off the map and we didn't hear from him for years. Fans were shocked in 2004 when his mugshot was being shared all over the world after he was charged with possession of marijuana and a controlled substance without a prescription. After that, the only news we ever heard about him was claims that he was struggling with a drug addiction. In 2012, photos started surfacing and he looked very thin, frail, and very, very different. He was never overweight to begin with, but you could tell that he lost a lot of weight and just looked unrecognizable. In more recent years, he has returned to Hollywood, but not in the same way as before. His hair is now really long and his look is completely different than people were ever used to seeing. He doesn't seem to mind though. He still lives a very quiet lifestyle and says that he tries to avoid paparazzi at all costs. Here now at number 4 is Kylie Jenner. If you haven't followed the Kardashians, then you may have thought that Kylie just always looked the way she does now. Or maybe you're thinking there's no way you could ever think that because the work she's had done is pretty obvious. But some people don't realize just how drastic her change has been. Not that I encourage it or think that it is a kind thing to do, but people have made memes about her transformation because she looks like two totally different people. Kylie pictures before cosmetic surgery and makeup would have you convinced that that is not actually her. She has been open about some of her changes, the biggest one being her lips. She said she was always very insecure about her lips, so she actually got her first injections when she was just a teenager. On top of that, her body shape is wildly different, mainly because the majority of it is fake. Her breast and butt augmentations are often talked about because they aren't realistic, mainly because she changed the shape of her body practically overnight. And we all know achieving a body shape like hers would not come naturally like that overnight. Like, how do you nicely say like everything's fake? Taking over our 3rd spot is Janet Jackson. Back in 2019, articles started referring to Janet as a plastic princess after she underwent some plastic surgery. People were stunned as she looked unrecognizable when she stepped out to honor her brother's 10-year anniversary of his passing. The 53-year-old at the time looked totally different, and 3 of the nation's leading plastic surgeons came forward and explained the type of work they think she had done. The overall consensus was that she's had a facelift, eyelid lift, multiple nose jobs, filler, and Botox. One of them said, "Most recently I would say that her face has changed dramatically and I believe she's had eyelid surgery as well as an eyebrow lift." But this is not the first time that she's had work done. People have called her out in the past for altering her looks, but now the changes seem to be more drastic and her face looks more defined and just more fake. And that's not to be rude, it's just that her skin looks tighter and more smooth than her neck and the rest of her body, so the difference is just more obvious according to these surgeons. I mean, sorry to say it. And spot number 2 is Khloe Kardashian. The girl gets a lot of hate for editing her photos and using filters that make her look like a totally different person online than in real life. But her looks have drastically changed in real life too, and she's proud of them. Khloe has opened up during interviews explaining that she's always been called the ugly fat sister out of all of her sisters, and she decided that she wanted to do something about it. She ended up losing a significant amount of weight, which changed her overall body image. It even led to her having her own reality show called Revenge Body, where she helped other people reach their weight goals. Now, there's no denying that she's also had some work done to her body and face on top of the weight loss, so many people would say that she has had the biggest change out of all of her sisters. Her change might even be more drastic than her sister Kylie, who is also on this list. What do you guys think? Let's open it up to debate. In spot number 1 is Adele. Celebrities lose weight all the time, right? So why do people have such an issue when Adele loses weight? I have never seen someone's weight loss make headlines the way that hers has. She flaunted her new body on Instagram, which showed she lost a lot of weight, naturally making her look a lot different. But people had a problem with her weight loss and have spent months criticizing her for it. Things got so bad that her personal trainer Pete Garasimo came forward and said when they started working together on her weight loss journey, her goal was to never be skinny, it was to be healthy. She does look drastically different in comparison to the beginning of her career, but she also said that she's the happiest she's ever been, and professionals have come forward saying that her weight loss is not a threat to her health. Adele has even shared her workout and diet plan details during interviews to help others who are also trying to reach their health goals. She looks great. God, leave her alone, she looks amazing. Starting us off at number 10 is Jeffree Star. He is now known for being the biggest beauty YouTuber in the world, but before his success in makeup, he was actually a musician and he looked a lot different than he does now. He actually gained a lot of fame on MySpace back in the day for being in the alternative music scene. During that time, he had a very different look, which actually started in high school. You'll notice that one thing he's always been into was makeup. Even in high school, he was drawing on his eyebrows and rocking different bright colored eyeshadow. Over time, he got more involved in the makeup world and started his own YouTube channel. That is where people got to know him as the beauty guru that he is today. You will now see his entire body covered in tattoos, even part of his face. He wears longer wigs, lipstick, high fashion dresses sometimes, but has always kept the same makeup. You honestly just can't take him away from the eyeshadow. I swear he was like born with it. Like he started wearing eyeshadow when he was probably like a little toddler. Bella Hadid. There is no denying the model is drop dead gorgeous, and despite her transformation, she was stunning from the start. She made her way up on the modeling ranks and now has a very successful career because of her beauty. But throughout her career, people have shared photos of her before modeling and they were shocked to see just how different she looks. To reiterate, not that she was ugly before, but she got plastic surgery and obviously that makes you look different. She didn't change her face so drastically where you can't recognize her before picture, and her plastic surgery looks as complimentary and natural as possible. But when you compare her photos before and after plastic surgery, there is a noticeable difference, which is usually the point of cosmetic surgery because it is to change certain things about yourself, right? Cruising to the number 8 spot is John Travolta. In the 70s, women were drooling over this heartthrob who always brought that Saturday night fever. His naturally good looks won over the hearts of many people, which is why people were surprised to hear he eventually underwent plastic surgery. It became a big topic of conversation online when people started saying his face looked like wax and was completely different than what they were used to seeing. You can still recognize him, but there's no denying that he does look different. The changes on his face clearly show that there were many actions that had to be taken in order for him to look more artificial compared to his old natural look. Many sources have claimed the majority of cosmetic work was a facelift and Botox injections and say it was simply to just fight the signs of aging. Despite how different he looks though, he has talked about it openly and said he is happy with the changes, and that is all that really matters. Moving on to number 7, we have James Charles. If you know who he is now, then you know him as a beauty YouTuber who took over the platform at a fairly young age. But his career didn't start on YouTube, it actually started on The Ellen Show. He was just a teenager when he appeared on The Ellen Show after his high school graduation photos went viral. He didn't like his photos, so he did his own makeup, used a ring light, and created his own version of the photos. After The Ellen Show, he partnered with CoverGirl and became the first ever cover boy. His career quickly took off from there and he started his own makeup line and then a YouTube channel. People were completely shocked to see what he looked like before and how much his look has changed since before the world knew him. In recent years, his overall look has stayed the same, but he has admitted to some cosmetic procedures. He did tell his fans he has lip fillers and Botox and said that he will always be open about it. We'll see. In spot number 6 is Shane Dawson. He's earned himself the title of being the king of YouTube for the journey he has gone on for the past 9 years. He was one of the OG YouTubers that people fell in love with for his edgy humor, which only came back to haunt him later on in his career. But that is not what this list is about. Not only did his content evolve, but so did his looks. When he first started on YouTube, he looked incredibly different. He was rocking some long hair that he would straighten, and then he would comb his straightened bangs to the side. And when it came to his style, he had more an edgy punk look and would often wear vests with ties, you know, kind of like how Avril Lavigne used to wear them. But as his career continued, he ended up turning to vlogs and even the world of beauty. He now has short hair, facial hair, and his weight has always fluctuated throughout his career, which also makes him look different at times. Halfway through our list at number 5 is Jennifer Coolidge. The actress, best known for her role as Stifler's mom in the American Pie franchise, has changed her look drastically throughout her career. Plastic surgery in Hollywood is no surprise anymore, and she's never been shy to comment on it. Back in 2014, she said that everyone in Hollywood looks like they have ice cream scoop eyes. She said, "It looks so much like someone scooped the whole eyeball out and put it back in. You have to cut your eyelids off here to look young enough to win film roles." But she also admitted to the work that she has had done and is the first one to say that it is weird. She talked about her injections and said it almost makes you look like you've had a stroke. It's honestly hilarious to listen to her talk about it because she will criticize reconstructing your face, but then she will call herself a frost face. She even compared plastic surgery to the clowns that you see at carnivals. Now, I don't think she looks like a clown at all. I think she's beautiful. You can just tell that she's had work done. That's all. But you usually can tell when people have work done. Next up at number 4, we have Chris Pratt. He might be known these days for his portrayal of Peter Quill in Guardians of the Galaxy, but he's also remembered for his days on Everwood and Parks and Recreation. If you've watched him from the start of his career to now, then you've probably seen how much his look has changed over the years. But this isn't plastic surgery related. It's mainly been his weight that has changed and made him look significantly different at times. It was actually his role in Guardians of the Galaxy that made him slim down. The actor said he was around 300 pounds when he first auditioned for the movie, and he dropped 60 pounds in 6 months to play the part. Fans were shocked to see such a drastic transformation in such a short period of time, and of course, everyone wanted to know how he did it. He had a personal trainer, ate 4,000 calories a day, drank tons of water, and worked out 6 days a week. He said he would train anywhere from 3 to 4 hours a day. Now, this lifestyle is not necessarily recommended, but it does take a lot of dedication and hard work, so kudos to him. It looks great. Taking over the 3rd spot is Courtney Cox. Anyone who follows me on social media knows that I am a die-hard Friends fan, so I hate that she even qualifies for this list because she is, and always has been, absolutely stunning. She is one of the few women in Hollywood who have been open about the cosmetic procedures they've had done to their face. Just by looking at her photos, you would see that she has had a lot of work done, but she admits it, and she's even said at one point she went too far and that she looked unrecognizable. She said she gradually became addicted to surgery and was taking advice from the wrong people. Over time, she hated the way she looked, so she had all of her fillers removed so that she could look as natural as possible. But when comparing what she used to look like before surgery, her entire face looks reconstructed. Still beautiful, but just very different. She really didn't need to touch her face. It makes me so angry. Taking over our number 2 spot is Taylor Momsen. If you were hooked on the TV series Gossip Girl like I was, then you would know Taylor Momsen for playing Jenny Humphrey in the series. Her character was better known as Little J, and she played the sweet little innocent sister for most of the series. But as the series went on, we saw her character's style and behavior evolve, and we soon realized that she was also evolving in real life outside of her character. She started dressing in darker clothes, wore dark makeup, and had a more edgy rock star vibe going on, which is a big reason why she quit the show. She didn't fit into her character anymore, and she wanted to pursue music. For those who didn't know her on Gossip Girl, they wouldn't know just how much her look has changed because they know her for being in the band The Pretty Reckless. She is now a badass singer for the rock band and looks completely different than she did at the start of her career. In our number 1 place is Mickey Rourke. The actor's transformation has been one of the most talked about. People were shocked when paparazzi photos surfaced of him looking like a completely different person. He's been in the Hollywood limelight for decades, so people were used to seeing his face how they were introduced to him in the 1980s. But his acting career seemed to hit a dead end, and that is when he decided to go back to his first love, which was boxing. Throughout his time fighting, he suffered injuries like broken ribs, a compressed cheekbone, and a split tongue. It was then that he underwent reconstructive surgery of the face. The actor has openly talked about it and said that he went to the wrong surgeon the first time and the outcome was not what he hoped for. So he had to undergo more surgeries to enhance and correct the mistakes. He was also having difficulty breathing and needed surgery again down the road. As of 2017, he has had 5 nose jobs. So the man has been through a lot, to say the least. Starting us off at number 10 is Katie Price. She was a glamour model icon in the 90s and she's gone under the knife dozens of times to try and hold on to her youthful looks, as many celebrities do. The now 42-year-old has spoken candidly about her transformation and openly admits to looking a lot different than when she started her career. She has spent thousands of dollars on plastic surgery, and in 2019 she was declared bankrupt. She's had 2 facelifts in the matter of 2 years and says she gets her face Botoxed every 6 months. She also injects fillers into her cheeks to make herself look younger, she says. Those are honestly just a few things. She's also had her eyebrows tattooed on, a nose job, lip fillers, and veneers. Her teeth have actually been one of her biggest transformations and cost her $150,000 to fix. She didn't fix them simply for cosmetics. She actually cracked her teeth when she was younger after she fell off a skateboard. Despite fans commenting on her overall very drastic change, it doesn't seem like she will be stopping the plastic surgery anytime soon. Up next, number 9 is Amanda Bynes. The former child star has changed quite a bit since her big Hollywood debut. She started her career young, so naturally as she grew older, her appearance started to change. But then it got to a point where she turned to plastic surgery, and in 2013, her parents admitted she had body issues and became obsessed with surgery, and large doctor bills would show up to their house. But this all came around the same time that Amanda was having severe struggles with her mental illness. The year prior, she was arrested several times for driving under the influence, and her appearance started to change in paparazzi photos. She wore different colored wigs, and her face began to look different. She eventually disappeared from Hollywood and went in and out of treatment centers, and you will actually now see her with dark hair, a septum piercing, and a face tattoo. Swiping our number 8 spot is Ariana Grande. If you only know Ariana in more recent years for her music, then you wouldn't realize how different she looks now compared to the start of her career. Fans first began to know her when she had bright red hair on the Nickelodeon show Victorious. But when she first auditioned for the show, she actually had dark brown, really curly hair. As she grew older, her appearance started to change, and it has been an ongoing debate on whether or not she has had plastic surgery. People have accused her of fillers, Botox, a brow lift, and even a nose job. People started posting photos online comparing her old nose to how she looks now and claimed she definitely had a nose job done. In 2019, Ariana responded to one of the pictures saying, "Hey, this is my birth nose. What the F did I log onto today? Let me have a cute nose." Damn. She hasn't commented on any of the other claims, so we'll really never know, but either way, she has always been stunning. I can't believe how pretty she was at such a young age. I did not look like that at 12. In spot number 7 is Kim Kardashian. The Kardashian sisters are known for their transformations and the plastic surgery procedures they've had done. But with Kim being the oldest sister and the first one in the spotlight, people were quick to expose her when she started to look different than when she first became known. Perhaps the biggest transformation has been her body, with her breast augmentation and alleged butt implants. People are convinced she has implants in her butt, but she's always denied it and even got an x-ray done on her reality show so people could see that there were no implants inside. However, that does not excuse fillers and other type of work that you can have done. But taking her real or fake butt out of it, her face looks different too. Still beautiful, just different than when she first started out in Hollywood. Moving into spot number 6, we have Christian Bale. He is a special exception on our list because his look changed drastically throughout his career because of movie roles. And one of them was so impressive that there's no way I cannot include it on our list. When he was preparing for the 2004 movie The Machinist, he had to go through a drastic preparation that he said led him into a downward spiral of paranoia and delusion. He had to lose 62 pounds for the role, which made him so incredibly thin that he could hardly walk up a flight of stairs. And even after he was done filming the movie, he had to drastically change his body again in such a short period of time. He only had 6 months to put all of his weight back on and buff up again for his role of Batman in Batman Begins. He managed to pack on a whopping 100 pounds, most of it being rock solid muscle. Halfway through a list at number 5 is JWoww. Back in 2018, the Jersey Shore star made headlines for looking unrecognizable, and experts came forward saying they know why. Fans were convinced she had plastic surgery after she showed up to the Jersey Shore family vacation premiere with a completely different face, but she's previously denied it. But a plastic surgeon named Dr. Martirosyan weighed in on what procedures he thinks she's had done. He said it looks like she got lip fillers, a nose job, cheek augmentation, and other face fillers or implants. But JWoww has always denied going under the knife, and during a 2016 interview, she said her looks changed simply because of her weight and tan. She said, "I haven't gone under the knife. My weight fluctuates, my tan fluctuates. I take it as a compliment because I don't want to look like the girl that was 25 walking into the Jersey Shore house anymore with no knowledge on makeup." She has admitted though to getting non-invasive procedures though to like stay youthful. I feel like that still counts. That's still cosmetic procedures. Rolling into spot number 4 is Vicki Gunvalden. The Real Housewives star has caused a big debate throughout her career on whether or not she also has had plastic surgery. This seems to be a pattern on our list today. Fans were used to seeing it on the show. Almost every single housewife in the franchise has been getting augmentations, Botox, fillers, facelifts, so people automatically assumed that she was one of them. In more recent years, she is looking significantly different, and fans are convinced she has gone under the knife again. She did confirm during an interview in 2018 that she had a facelift, so now people don't really believe her when she denies other work. She removed her fillers from her face at the time and had a lower facelift done, which fans got to see at the end of the season. She's not one to usually hide the work she's had done. She's always been the one to say that it is her body and she wants to make herself look the best she can. So does she look different? Very. But is she happy? Yes. And I guess that's all that matters. In our third spot is Portia de Rossi. In 2013, she started making headlines that said, "What happened to her face?" The articles referred to the show that she was on, Arrested Development, and said the lack of excitement for the 4th season could be due to the fact that one of its stars, Portia, is unrecognizable. People were tweeting about her new face and how different she looked. It didn't help that all the news outlets gathered 4 different plastic surgeons to weigh in on the situation. But Portia has always been very open about her struggle with Hollywood's beauty standards. In her book called Unbearable Lightness, she talked about her decades-long struggle with anorexia and how she always felt the pressures of the industry. So for her to change and tweak things on her face and body isn't all that surprising. She's always been beautiful and still is, but she looks very different than she did at the beginning of her career. Making her way into number 2 is Megan Fox. People were quick to fall in love with her when she appeared in the Transformers movies. It was hard not to, since she was one of the hottest girls in Hollywood at the time, and probably still is, depending on who you ask. But in more recent years, you may have noticed that she looks a lot different than she did when we first got to know her. In 2010, when she showed up to the premiere of Jonah Hill, people were shocked at how different her face looked and said she almost looked cat-like. Keep in mind, she was just 24 years old at the time of this photo, and when you look at it, she looks a lot older because of the fillers and Botox in her face. Since then, her face has continued to change as she got older. She is still just as stunning, but very different compared to that fresh face look that we were seeing at the start of her career. Earning the number 1 spot is Donatella Versace. She might be one of the most talked about transformations because of how drastic her changes were. Articles have used her as an example for reasons not to go under the knife and claim that her plastic surgeries have left her botched. She's actually denied having plastic surgery on more than one occasion, but it's very obvious that her face has undergone a lot of changes throughout her career. Many surgeons have come forward with their predictions and have said it appears that she's had pretty much everything done on her face, but that her nose is the most natural. When asked about her face, she says that she inherited this smooth skin appearance from her father and said that she uses tons of face creams to keep her looking this way. Despite the reasoning for the change in her face, there is no denying how different she looks, and I will let you decide if you think she got plastic surgery or not. Because I'll keep my opinion to myself. I think she had. In spot number 10 is Calvin Harris. The 36-year-old DJ gets drooled over for his handsome looks, but more so in recent years than ever before. Maybe that's because he is flaunting his muscles more and he didn't always look the way that he does now. He was once a young musician who had box-dyed hair and questionable taste in clothing. But who am I to judge? Honestly, you should have just seen me when I was younger. But throughout the last decade, he has had a major transformation, which he says comes from being bullied when he was a kid. He was not bullied for his clothing, he was actually bullied for his height. Calvin is currently 6'5" and said that when he was a kid, he was always the tallest one in the class. He spoke about it during an interview and said, "It was hard being the tallest person in the class. You don't want people to look at you. It's only in the last 5 years that I've come to terms with the fact that I am a big, tall bastard." His height hasn't changed throughout the years, but his attitude has, and just his overall appearance. He had a glow up, in my opinion. He looks fine. Coming into spot number 9, we have Meg Ryan. The legendary actress actually started as an NYU journalism major, but made her debut into Hollywood on the daytime soap As the World Turns. As her acting career continued, her look started to change, and some will say that now she looks unrecognizable than she did at the beginning. One thing she's always kept consistent throughout her career was a more natural look when it came to makeup. She's always kept her makeup very minimal, but it also made the changes to her face a little more obvious. The actress has always denied getting plastic surgery, but articles are saying that plastic surgery is what ruined her career. She took a break from acting and told the New York Times that she left Hollywood because she was burned out. She's always ignored the rumors of plastic surgery, but doctors have come forward and claimed that they think, from a professional standpoint, that she has had rhinoplasty, Botox, and fillers. When she made her return back into the spotlight, she did look very different, but we have no confirmation on the reasoning why. Sniping our number 8 spot is Carrot Top. The stand-up comedian and actor goes by the name Carrot Top due to his appearance, but his actual name is Scott Thompson. He has been known for his orange hair his entire career, but over the years he started becoming known for his changing looks. After rumors started spreading claiming that he had plastic surgery, it became a very big debate because he was quick to deny it. When you look at before and after pictures, there's no denying that he looks very different. In 2015, he told Florida Today that he's never had any plastic surgery, but plastic surgeons have come forward saying differently. Plastic surgeon Dr. Yoon publicly stated that he is looking more like a muscle-bound cartoon character. Those were his words, and that his excessively arched brow and smooth face is the result of getting some work done. The only thing that has stayed the same about his appearance is, of course, his Carrot Top. I feel like you can't change that at this point. Your whole name and your whole career is Carrot Top. You can't dye your hair. Up next, number 7, we have Belle Thorne. It's not really a surprise anymore when former Disney stars end up looking a lot different than when they first found fame. The now 23-year-old started out her career early on and found fame when she was just 13 years old. She took on the lead role of Cece Jones on Disney's TV series Shake It Up. People were used to seeing her innocent Disney star look that they all start out with, so when she left them officially in 2013, her overall appearance began to change as well as her career. She started to pursue other types of projects, and she finally got to dress and look the way that she wanted to. She was no longer attached to the Disney network and had more liberties with her appearance. Around 2015 is when Bella started trying out new hairstyles, got more into makeup, and from there we've just seen her transform into who she is today. Nowadays you will see her with a septum piercing, different colored hair all the time, fun colored eyeshadow, and some tattoos. She also had a breast augmentation done and some lip fillers, which have also altered her look, of course, but she still keeps a lot of her natural beauty. Moving on to number 6, we have Janice Dickinson. The former model made a career out of her stunning looks, but over time her looks completely transformed and people are still left in shock. Since the start of her career, she's always been beautiful, and many people would agree she never needed any of the work that she has had done. She's been described as one of the first ever supermodels, but when comparing photos from her model career to now, you might not even recognize her. She's been very open about her huge transformation, even filming her breast surgery back in 2014. Throughout the years, she has revealed that she had facelifts, a breast augmentation, a tummy tuck, a neck lift, liposuction, and Botox. She has spent so much money on her appearance that in 2013, she declared herself bankrupt after owing $1 million in taxes and unpaid cosmetic bills. Some of her surgeries haven't gone to plan, and she's even appeared on the popular show Botched to fix some of her previous work. Halfway through our list, at number 5, we have Tana Mojo. The famous YouTuber has changed a lot since she came into the vlogging scene back in 2015. Some fans will say she became a whole new woman as she grew with her career, but she's the first one to admit it. She started out on YouTube when she was just 16 years old, and the now 22-year-old admits to the changes that she's gone through after moving her life to LA and becoming a household name on YouTube. She's admitted to having a nose job done and other cosmetic procedures done to her face. She's even vlogged some of her filler appointments for her channel and social media pages, which I have personally watched. She jokes about getting work done and is always very honest with her fans about the changes that she has made. She even edits her pictures so drastically sometimes, but then tells her fans what part of her image she has altered. All of her changes were made for her, and she's very happy with them, and I guess that is all that really matters. She was really cute before and beautiful now. I don't get it. All the people getting work done don't need to get work done. Taking over spot number 4 is Haley Joel Osment. People will always remember him as the child star from the iconic movie The Sixth Sense, but a lot has changed since that movie. He was an Oscar nominee for that role, but then he disappeared from the limelight to finish his education. So naturally, it was a shock for fans when he returned to the Hollywood scene looking a lot different than when they first saw him. The first thing the media pointed out was the amount of weight he gained, some of the articles being a little harsh in my opinion. Go Google it, it's actually insane what they were calling him. People were used to seeing him as an 11-year-old boy, so he looked unrecognizable when paparazzi photos showed him at the beach rocking sunglasses and a shaggy long beard. He went through a lot of personal things during this time away from acting. In 2006, he was arrested for drunk driving and pot possession after a car accident. But he said since then, he's done a lot of personal growth, and he admits that he's no longer the kid from The Sixth Sense, and he wishes people would realize that. Oh my god, these articles were awful. They were like, Haley Joel Osment, huge body on beach. And I'm like, oh my god. They called him huge. Like, bless, I would cry. In our third spot is Trisha Paytas. She's always been open about the extent of her plastic surgery transformation, actually updating her YouTube followers every time she gets new work done. But some of her fans have been shocked to see how much she's changed over the years since her fresh-faced student days. Trisha is hardly recognizable when you see some of her high school pictures. But she's been open about why she started to get plastic surgery in the first place and said it came after she had low self-esteem as a teenager. In one of her confessional videos, she said, "I've wanted surgery since I was 13. Her breasts were actually the first thing she wanted done, and that happened at the age of 23. Since then, she's also undergone other procedures like lip fillers, liposuction, and fat transfers. No matter what comment she gets about her drastic change, she is happy with how she looks and said that she is not trying to go for a natural look. Up next, number 2, we have Jennifer Grey. The actress started getting noticed in the industry after her roles in Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Dirty Dancing. But her fame immediately died down after she had plastic surgery, and now she says she regrets it more than anything. At the start of her career, she was actually known for her curly hair and very prominent nose. But then she underwent multiple nose jobs, and she said she could no longer book movie roles after that. The now 60-year-old openly talks about her decision to get plastic surgery and said she regrets it and believes it was that drastic change that cost her all the fame she had just gained during that time. Since then, she's had more work done, and some say she's no longer recognizable as that girl from Dirty Dancing. I actually had no idea that was her. That's very sad. I hate when they regret it. That makes me sad. Because it's fun if you get it and then you're like, I'm happy, I love it. And then it's like, okay, do you? But when you regret it, oh. In the number 1 spot is Val Kilmer. He is one of the most celebrated and successful actors of his generation. He is known for some of the greatest classics like Top Gun, Tombstone, and Batman Forever. And during that time, he was also known for his good look. But throughout his career, rumors have continued to surround the actor about his very dramatic physical transformation. In 2015, rumors started saying he was taken to the hospital for emergency throat surgery after being diagnosed with throat cancer. This was never confirmed by the actor at the time or his representatives. Despite the rumors about his health, no one was prepared for the dramatic transformation he was about to undergo. Not only were fans shocked by his change in appearance, but they were confused about his unusual speaking voice. It wasn't until 2017 that he confirmed he had been battling throat cancer for several years, which left him unable to speak naturally, which is why he had a tracheotomy to help him speak. Alright guys, that is our part 4 list. Make sure you guys leave a like if you enjoyed it, but for now, I'm gonna end this video with some comments from part 3. Alex Q says, I don't understand why people deny these procedures. It's your body. If you're happy, that's what really counts. I've expressed that in the video. I don't get it either. I feel like they want that change to look as natural as possible, so they want to hide it. Folksky Girl says, I love your jean jacket, Joss. I've wanted one since I was 15. Go get one. I think everyone should have a jean jacket. Mine cost me like $15. Get them at the thrift stores too, and they're really cool. Aisha Binu says, am I the only one who always thought Jocelyn looks like Courtney Cox? No? Okay. This was like the biggest compliment I've ever read on this channel. Like, people have compared me to Kendall Jenner, but Courtney Cox? I would love to look like Monica Geller. I act like her in a lot of ways. Miss Sandra says, Kim is definitely not the oldest. Okay, I have seen your comments. I've been ridiculed. I did not mean to say Kim was the oldest sister. I know that Courtney's the older sister. I don't know why I said that. I really don't know, because I know that Courtney's the oldest. Oops. Oops, I'm human, I made a mistake, oh my god. Alright guys, I'm getting out of here. That's all I got. I was your host for this one, Joss Bedard. I'll see you next time.